Good morning and welcome to today's verse. To God be the glory. What a great day it is today. Today's verse, it comes to us from the book of Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 17, and it says this: Obey your leaders and submit to them, for they are keeping watch over your souls, as those who have to give an account. Let them do this with joy and not with groaning, for that would be of no advantage to you. I want to speak to you from the way of subject today, this morning, about following the shepherds that watch over you. Imagine being on a long flight through heavy turbulence. That's probably happened to all of us at one point or another. The passengers may feel nervous, but the pilot remains calm, giving instructions over the intercom. Though you can't see everything in the cockpit, you trust his training and experience to guide the plane safely. Now, if the passengers ignore his direction and did whatever they pleased, chaos would erupt, would follow, and safety would be compromised. Now, trusting the pilot does not mean he is perfect, but it acknowledges that his responsibility for everyone on board. The book of Hebrews was written to Jewish Christians who were tempted to return to their old religious practices under pressure of persecution. In this closing chapter, the writer gives practical instructions for living out faith. Verse 17 specifically says that the leaders, that is, the spiritual shepherds, pastors, elders, are responsible for guiding God's people and keeping watch over their souls. The emphasis is on accountability. Leaders must give an account before God, and believers are called to follow them in a way that makes their service joyful rather than burdensome. You know, in today's world, independence and skepticism towards authority often overshadows respect and trust, yes, even in the church. This verse reminds believers that spiritual leaders are not bosses, but shepherds. Their role is to guard, to teach, and to guide souls. Supporting them through prayer, cooperation, and encouragement allows them to serve with joy rather than frustration. For leaders, it is a sobering reminder their authority is not control, but for care. And they one day must stand before God to answer for how they shepherd his flock. You know, in the military, I've been responsible for millions, even tens of millions of dollars worth of supplies and equipment, but I was not responsible for one soul. I've said it before, and I say it again. Serving as a pastor is not to be taken lightly. And with all that they go through, listen, it's not for wimps. I have been praying for every pastor that I know by name for every day, except on Sundays. I do it collectively. But individually, every day, I pray for pastors that I know that God would just continue to watch over them, guide them, direct them, and keep them safe. I pray for them. I pray for their families. Been doing that for the past 10 years because it is simply not that easy. Whenever I go to a church to preach there, I always tell them, I pray for your pastor every day. And it's true. I always ask them, how about you? We ought to trust and support godly leadership, unless, of course, they contradict Scripture. Following their guidance brings spiritual safety and unity to the church. Now may we live in a way that encourages our leaders. Your faithfulness and cooperation helps them to lead with joy rather than weariness. To God be the glory for the great things he has done. I pray that you will meditate upon this verse today. You put it into practice. I pray you have a great day. Listen, it's the weekend. As I always say, get out and do something special for yourself, with your family. Tomorrow is coming, Sunday morning. Enter into a place to worship with the saints of God. Depart to serve. Monday morning, God's willing, we'll see you right back here. Yes, on today's verse. Amen.